go ignored in this fight, though. The good thing is, in both English and Spanish, he announced that he will seek the Democratic nomination for president. He's the grandson of an immigrant grandmother from Mexico, so there could be a story with the immigration things we have going on. His twin brother Joaquin is a Democratic congressman and chairman of the Hispanic Congressional Caucus. He will serve as the chairman of Julian's presidential campaign. So yeah, I mean he has got some support from some pretty left-wing people, like a Sean King type person. Tulsi Gabbard is also in the race, and Elizabeth Warren, and so far just a whole bunch of white guys.
Yeah, so, I know, but you listen. We'll see Kamala Harris step up. That's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's pretty much all but confirmed at this point.
Yeah, Kirsten Gillibrand she's poked on its nest.
The only big question right now is Bernie. If he's going to run.
Yeah, but Bernie. I feel like Bernie's got. He's going to be out-lefted, and that's.
I don't know about who.
I don't know if his principles will allow him to go too far off the rails. You know what I mean? Like he'll say that he's a socialist Democrat, but I think he's also a sensible guy. Some of the posturing that we're seeing, and some of the AOC tail wagging the dog is a bit of an issue, I think, for everybody.
I mean, I think Elizabeth, if you really get down to it, I mean, maybe other than a few issues, AOC and Bernie, like they have the same policy issues, but of the candidates announced, I think a lot of it is, I think Julian Castro, he's an establishment wing guy. I think we could put him in that category, although he may be a little bit more left wing, maybe kind of like a Corey, I wouldn't say even that, but he's a little bit more to the left than like a Hillary or a Kirsten Gillibrand, but I just don't see who could. I was wondering who you would say would be out-lefting Bernie Sanders, because on the policy front,
I think people are going to have to. I think it's if you look at where most of the coverage is now, when people cover Democrat politics, you've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. By virtue of this, it really wasn't an upset victory in New York. I mean, she represented. There was a white guy representing a bunch of minorities. I mean, a young, vivacious woman, energetic, espousing more or less the same kinds of thing, was had a pretty good shot.
I mean, I think the policy differences though between Crowley and Ocasio were
I agree.
Massive.
I agree. But the bottom line is that she's there now. She is sucking up a lot of the oxygen on the left.
That's true. That and on the right, with a lot of people on the right have been nonstop attacking her.
Yeah, but I mean, for definitely different reasons, right? On the right, they're attacking her because some of what she says is a little scary to a lot of them. And on the left, it's because she's refreshing. Well. And she's offering this point of view that apparently rings true for a lot of people on the far left. But that's where the energy is in that party.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just... And I think the people who are, moderate Democrats, they're kind of living in fear right now.
I think the only person who's really at this point, though, who's going to be able to translate that energy is going to be Warren. Maybe I really don't know what Castro's economic positions are, but or positions like healthcare, all that stuff. I do know he's probably going to be pretty good on immigration, just based on his personal history. But from all what I've heard is we need to make his pretty much his campaign platform was let's make the American dream work for Americans again, or just all that kind of those platitudes that everyone's heard for so long. No one really wants to vote for.
Right. Well, it sounds good, and so he'll get some coverage.
Yeah.
So we have to wait when they start tearing one another to shreds. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's when the full field assembles is going to be interesting.
Exactly. And I think that Elizabeth Warren's been very smart, and I don't think for fear of not being part of the club, any of her competitors will mention her Native American DNA testing moment. They're just not going to do it. It will nearly be a hypocritical plague in that group of whatever that group turns out to be. Like, they will certainly not go. They're not going to run afoul of the identity politics that has become the hallmark of the left. So you're not, this is her truth. They're not going to touch it.
I don't know.
Well, trust me, if they do get there, it's all over for the left. Donald Trump wins re-election.
Like, that's probably the first probably the most substantive attack that you could really land on her is that Native American thing. Because what you could say is, oh, she's exploiting the Native American community for her own personal gain, even though she's white, and that's all you got to do. It's that simple.
But she is just gonna sit back on the leftist principles of, this is my truth, this is my identity. How dare you, attack it? That she's going to use the unspoken rules to her advantage. And with all the money she's got in the bank and the name recognition, I don't know. I think she probably even withstands that. And then Donald Trump will shred her on that.
Yeah, Donald Trump's definitely gonna. She's the Pocahontas is gonna go. It's gonna go full time. But yeah, I think that would be something that I would like to see her kind of get out in front of, is the Native American thing. I didn't like that at all. Like the Native American anger on that is something that I think the left is going to not hesitate to use. But anyway, yeah, that does about do it for us today. It's been a great show. Thank you so much to David Langan for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
All right. So that just about does it for us. We'll see you soon. It's Newsflash.